Hey guys, it is Mike from Baltimore Rides here. It is Tuesday. I'm going to plug my earpiece in just so I know you guys will get a clear audio signal, because I don't know whether you can hear me or not. So just hang on one second. Okay, I'm sure you guys can hear me better now. So I just came from the Uber office here in Fells Point, where they announced to us the next wave of 180 Days for Change campaign changes. So I just want to kind of sum it up. I did take some mental notes, and I have dates as well embedded in my phone. I put them in my calendar. But here's kind of the next wave of changes. We are going to go to an option with live phone support for Uber drivers. August 7th is the go live date for Baltimore, Washington area to have phone support in our app. And what that means is, instead of, as an option, instead of just sending in a message and waiting for support to send you back a message, there'll be a phone icon built into the app. You can click a button and then get call support. So that would be great for those in-the-moment solutions that we have issues with. They also said they're revamping some of their automated response system so that we won't necessarily get back the cut and paste message that doesn't always apply. So, you know, that's great news. I think that's a change that was definitely needed. And I feel like they got that right. Obviously, Lyft, the biggest competitor, has that and built that into their system. So it just makes perfect sense. Some other changes that were coming later are a lost item fee. So if you get a lost item in your car, you know, you find somebody's phone or their umbrella or their watch, whatever, and you need to make a trip back out to that passenger's a location at a later time. We've been doing it, you know, for free, or sometimes they tip us. But now there's going to be a lost item fee that will be paid to us if we have to make a special trip out to a customer's house later on to take something back, like a phone or whatnot. Another great solution to a common problem. And then lastly, there's going to be a change to the survey that passengers get. When they rate us, there'll be some common issue buttons they can click on. And some of those buttons, like fee or price or things that are outside of the driver's control, if they click on that button and then provide a rating, 1 to 5 star, it will not go against our personal rating. So, a couple things to change. This kind of announcement was really all based around support and the drivers feeling like Uber corporate was not really on our side. So I feel like those are some good changes. The dialogue that was brought up both before the session began and in the Q&A afterwards, again, really revolved around Uber's processes and what they felt were, readily available solutions prior to this 180 day for change and then post. So, it kind of felt like drivers were always in the wrong, and they would almost always err on the side of the passenger. And now it feels like maybe there's much more of a let's get both sides of the story before we take action one way or the other. So I appreciate that. I feel like that's a great, that's a great way for corporate to resolve issues. Instead of just making the assumption that the driver's always in error, let's get both sides of the story. And I think that that's well needed. So there wasn't a whole lot of monetary changes in this announcement, but I think a lot of these back-end support issues will actually work towards that, fixing issues. They also committed to a 2-hour window to approve documents. So you guys remember, or some of you that have been following me for a while now remember, there was a night back in June 30th when my insurance policy expired, and I was, of course, driving, and it was midnight, and then I 12:01 clicked along to July 1st, and all of a sudden I got deactivated because my insurance card was, was expired, and I had just, shame on me, I'd forgotten to upload my new insurance cards because they're 6-month policies, and it took hours and hours to resolve it, and I lost probably 2 hours worth of revenue that night on a busy Saturday night. So a commitment to shorten that window to 2 hours is great. You know, it would have definitely helped that evening for me, and I think it probably helps a lot of drivers that, you know, they go down for an inordinate amount of time because a document needs to get refreshed, and now all of a sudden they're losing revenue. So guys, it feels like another good change. It feels like Uber corporate is trying to connect with its drivers and get feedback. I talked specifically about a lot of things. I talked about camera information policy and, you know, them being more specific to the state or city that their, you know, their chapter is or headquarters is based around. Why not provide us with some informational on, hey, this is what you can and can't record, and this is what you can and can't do specific to your metropolitan area. And, you know, it's different every state. Texas is different than Baltimore or Maryland. So, you know, why not give us that information? Why not the legal team just put out some basic information out there that says, based on current law, this is what you can and can't do. And then at least we're informed and we can make informed decisions because there's a lot of drivers out there that are not making informed decisions. And that's really the solution to that. I met some great people, and I bumped into some people I already knew, drivers I'm talking about. And again, it just goes to show that, you know, there's drivers out there that are doing the best they can, but they're making decisions that aren't always the right decisions, and they're not always, you know, 100% aware of what they can and can't be doing. And I think that that's the solution to this, is that you know, we as a team need to work with each other more often. We need to partner. We need to communicate better, because the corporate team, they're not drivers. They're not drivers. You know, the executive, the head of the Baltimore office, he said he just recently started driving himself, and I think that's a great idea that he took that upon himself, because it's going to give him some hands-on knowledge that he did not have prior, coming from the corporate side. But I think ultimately, we as drivers who drive every night, we know what things we face, we know what issues we struggle with, and we know, usually we know solutions to those issues. So, you know, why not tap us more often for that information? I think this was a great idea, and I think these monthly meetings will help to bridge the gap between corporate and the drivers, and will help to connect us with our office and with our support team, or, you know, behind the scenes team, if you will. So I'm excited. I'm going to stop here at Safeway. I'm going to make a bio break, hit the restroom. I'm going to get some of my goodies for the night so I have some energy. And then I'm going to hit the road, guys. So I will definitely update you guys later and let you know what's going on. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.